the whole world music. To sing a simple melody. To sing about all the joys and good times, yeah. You see, that's the way God meant for it to be. And if you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play. You don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play my song.
Hello, Reedy. Hello,
Hi,
everybody. It's a wonderful day
in the
here in.
neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I've been out once today, and man, when I got in, I was drained. I started to go back out and do something else, and I said, no, no, no. I'm thankful to God for the day, thankful to be alive, thankful to
Amen.
see the sunshine,
Amen.
thankful to feel the heat. I am. And I'm
Yes,
thankful for
ma'am.
a home that has air conditioning, and most of all that I can pay the bill, because if I had the home and couldn't pay the bill and have the air conditioning, I'd still be up the creek without a
Up
paddle.
a creek without a
So,
paddle.
so I am so thankful to God for what He has done, what He has done, He's doing, and what He will do in our lives. And I'm going to do our prayer. Dear God, as we sit before you to speak, we pray to you that our souls you will keep. And if we should die before we finish, we pray to you that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. And I'm thankful to have my sister here. She's number 5. You're number 5, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
Number
I
5.
am.
Okay, yes.
They
And
should have
so
stopped. They should have stopped. Go ahead.
and so we're first we'll talk, we'll tell the schedule. It's official now. So Rita, you want to tell it?
No, I do not.
Okay, I'll tell it. On September the 4th, which is a Saturday, we will be honoring Natalie, memorializing her, and beginning at 11 a.m. on the 4th of September 2021. That's another week or so from here. We will
Mm.
be at the Mount Olive Baptist Church in the multi-purpose building in Denison, Texas, and that's on Scullin Avenue. I think, I don't want to get it wrong. I think it might be 1131 South Scullin, but anyway, it's Mount Olive Baptist Church, and we will be in the multi-purpose building. And we ask that if you have food, you have a desire to bring food, gifts, cards, whatever, would you please hold them and bring them on that day, beginning at 11 a.m. Thank you so much. We thank you so much for all of the condolences and the prayers, everything that you're doing. We continue to thank you, and we appreciate you so much. So I'm going to go on, and I'm not going to dwell on that. Okay, we thank God for sustaining us and keeping us and blessing us to be able to go through this. Okay, now my topic is the grudge effect. Ooh, 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 ooh. It is not a good thing to hold a grudge. And how many of us have ever held a grudge? Or how many people are holding a grudge now? Are you holding or held? Huh?
Oh,
Re-
but the phone rang, but I got it on do not disturb.
okay, that's all right. So are you holding or have you held a grudge before?
Me? Y'all got one going on now.
Well, this will benefit you.
Some need to.
And sometimes we could be holding a grudge and we don't even know that it is a grudge.
Yes,
By
that's true.
remembering things and reacting certain ways when we see whoever has affected us in a certain negative way. So I am going to talk about the effects of holding a grudge. Now, holding a grudge can be psychologically damaging too, and it
Yes.
could be physically damaging. So it could affect your health and your mental health, your physical and mental health. And so, anyway, when you hold a grudge, that means that whoever this person is that wronged you, or you feel like they wronged you, they're in your mind. They're taking up space. They're taking up time in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if for nothing else but to get them out of your time and life, forgive them and move on. You don't have to be in their presence, in their company. You can feed them out of a long handle spoon. Okay? And as much as lies within you, live peaceable with all men. You can live peaceable with people at a distance. And when you have to come in contact with them, you can still live peaceable by keeping on moving onto your territory, and there's nobody encroach the other's territory. You can be friendly when you have to be friendly, not hypocritical. But you have to be able, because for us to be able to make it into the kingdom of God, it always goes back to that. We are going to have a free conscience and forgive others, not hold a grudge, okay? And then for our sake, we don't want to leave here what some people say earlier than we should leave here, because they've made us sick, because we've let them come in and invade our mental and physical territory, and we just really don't need to be doing that. Okay, so holding a grudge, so let me get to that. Holding a grudge can be bad for your health, and they've done some studies, and this is WebMD. So I think many of us have been on WebMD, and so we know that it's a reputable website. So I'm going to read is webmd.com. And if it comes on up, I'll read it. And today, when we finish our topics, we're not going to prolong the time or anything. We're going to go ahead and sign off. And so, but our topics will be complete, and they are very informative. And I know Rita's got a hot one, man, oh man, oh man. And I said, hot diggity dog. Holding a grudge can be bad for your health. And this is by Mike Phelan. Okay. And he wrote this in February 25th, 2000. And he wrote it, and he was in Atlanta at that time. To forgive is divine. And if Hope College researchers are correct, it may also be healthy. Researchers at the College of Holland, Michigan, say forgiveness seems to be better for people than holding a grudge, at least in terms of negative effects on the body. And then they have a thing that says that there are some positive effects of holding a grudge too. And I can think of one of them, and off the top of my head, the positive effect is that you remember what was done to you. And so you have a defense up, your defensive. Yeah, because you don't want that to happen again. So that can remind you, oh, that happened. Oh, that we're not going to let that happen again. So I think that's one of the positives of it. So forgiveness is something nearly all Americans believe in, but don't always practice. In a recent nationwide Gallup poll, 94% of respondents said it was important to forgive, while only 48% said they usually tried to forgive others. Now, 94% say that you should forgive, but then only 48% actually forgive.
That's
Okay.
the math I was trying to get.
And so, oh yeah, you need to forgive. Have you forgiven?
I ain't trying to do it. I ain't trying to hear it.
I ain't tried to do it. I'm gonna close this tab out here. My Twitch tab. Um, because I'm hearing an echo. I was hearing an echo. Okay. So when people think about their offenders in unforgiving ways, they tend to experience stronger negative emotions and greater physiological stress responses. And there's a doctor that tells his name is Whitliet. And he says, in contrast, when these same people think about their offenders in more forgiving ways, they tend to experience great positive emotion, greater perceived control, and less potent negative emotion and stress in the short term. And then he also is he's an assistant professor of psychology at Hope College. So he said, if you think about them in a good way, then you don't be so stressed out. Okay. So, and I was thinking about these feuds that these families have. The Hatfields, they're famous, Hatfields and McCoys. And
Yep.
so there had to be something that happened there. And I don't know whether there's yet feuding or not, but something happened and somebody has been holding a grudge for years, and that grudge has been told to the descendants, and then if the fight is still going on, well, I know it did according to history, then they just took up where the older ones left off, and some of them don't have a clue
So
of
what they
how
were
it
fighting about.
right. But we don't know. We're just enemies. Got to keep the fight going. And they might not be fighting now. I don't know. But we did hear about the Hatfields and the McCoys. They're very famous. And aren't they kin
Yep.
people?
Yep. Yes. They were. I think they were cousins.
Yeah, I think they're
Uh huh.
kinfolk. So some
Uh huh.
things can happen. So in the study, about 70 undergraduates, roughly half males and half females, repeatedly imagined actual situations in which they either forgave a wrongdoer or nursed a grudge. The researchers measured the students' facial muscle tension, amount of sweating, heart rate, and blood pressure through electrodes placed onto their skin. The students were told to imagine four responses: remembering the hurt, holding a grudge and or plotting revenge, empathy with the offender, and granting forgiveness. That's a lot to think about at one time. The measurements showed researchers how agitated the volunteers were. And then this professor says participants rated the imagined situations in which they did not forgive as more depressing. They reported that they felt less dominant than when focusing on forgiving responses, she said. Okay. Now, the researchers discovered that physiological activity was substantially higher when the students imagined situations in which they were unforgiving. Even when they were instructed to stop imagining, their bodily responses remained stronger after imagining a negative situation than one in which they forgave the wrongdoer. Okay, our face, our body language, and all that tells it has an effect in people, and people who know us can tell because yeah, okay dokie. And some are verbal,
Yeah.
some are not verbal, but be very careful. Okay. Now, so the professor says the ongoing study, which is sponsored by a grant from Pennsylvania, they have to, do all these in here, based John Templeton Foundation, shows that nursing a hurt leads to agitation and hostility that linger even after a person stops thinking about the incident. And it does. You get upset, they upset you, it happens. It takes a while for that stuff to wear off from that instant right there. So she says she believes that people who don't forgive could be setting themselves up for future health problems ranging from mild depression to acute cardiovascular woes. It may be that forgiveness holds its own type of healing. And I believe that if you can genuinely forgive, if you can genuinely forgive, and if the perpetrator or the offender would genuinely get on out of the way and stop doing what they're doing, don't come back with some more stuff. See, that has a lot to do with it too. It depends on if they're a constant in your life, like a significant other, whether it's a spouse or whatever, or whether it's somebody, in your family you live with or whatever. It depends on how much contact you have with that and how it stays in your mind. If you can get away for a while, I think you could do better than staying there with the person that does the hurt. Okay, so several other studies have suggested a relationship between forgiveness and health. Joseph Newman, PhD, a clinical psychologist at East Tennessee State University, is researching the relationship between forgiveness and heart disease. He said, when I treated patients with cardiovascular disease, I was struck by how many were bitter, angry, and depressed, he said. He said it clearly affected their health and their ability to heal. People die, and when they say die of a broken heart, these people with this cardiovascular disease, their heart is broken, really broken. And so it comes from psychological and goes to physiological. And then it affects the heart, it affects the blood pressure, it affects your mind. And so then you're deteriorating because of the effect and how it has affected you physically and mentally. My goodness. So here's some information that we need. Researchers report they believe forgiving someone for a transgression is less stressful to the body than holding a grudge. Subjects imagine incidents where they didn't forgive someone, perspired more, and had faster heart rates, higher blood pressures, and more distressed facial gestures. Others are finding that bitterness affects the healing rates of cardiovascular patients and their overall sense of wellness. I'm going to stop right there on that one and go to the mental. What time is it? 1:18? Okay. 1:18. I'm going to the mental side of it now. So we can literally, many people have literally died of a broken heart. And not just because they're holding a grudge. And sometimes that grudge could just really be a deep hurt. Either way, it affects the heart,
Yes, it
the
does.
mind, yes, the body. And okay, so that was webmd.com. This is very well mind,
Professor.
.com.
Professor.
Huh?
Professor. Very well mind.
Oh,
Very
Reedy.
mind.
This morning, I was sitting over there in my rocking chair, and God gave me something. I mean, it came to my mind, and when something comes to my mind, then I want to find out what the definition is and see, is this really a legitimate thought? Is this coming from you, God? When he dropped that, some people say dropped it in their spirit. When he put that in my mind, I asked Alexa, just like he put it in there, do you know that girl defined it? I said, my God. Whew. So anyway,
She
oh
ain't
my
smart as
goodness.
Siri.
Huh?
She ain't smart as Siri. That
all right. But anyway, I was thinking about that because I was thinking about something else, really. Okay, but did I get off? I fought, but I'm just thinking about that. Wow, the mental health effects of holding a grudge. This is by Sarah Van Buskirk.
That's why I'm
Okay,
crazy.
what?
I got a grudge.
Ways to let a grudge go.
Don't do it.
Accept what happened. Consider the role you played. Distract yourself with enjoyable activities. Practice empathy for all involved, including yourself. Don't judge yourself or your feelings. Set healthy boundaries. Like that lady on that movie said, get on out by the gate. Wait out by the gate. Make them wait out by the gate, baby.
Right out
Okay.
by the gate. I'm trying to tell you.
Holding a grudge is when you harbor anger, bitterness, resentment, or other negative feelings long after someone has done something to hurt you. Usually it's in response to something that's already occurred. Other times, a grudge may develop after simply perceiving that someone is against you or means you harm, whether or not they actually do. Now, see, that's your mind right there. The grudges also often feature persistent rumination about the person and or incident at the center of the ill will. While we don't often like to admit it, holding a grudge is a common way some people respond to feeling that they've been wronged. And a lot of people are holding grudges. A
Yes.
lot of people are
Yes.
holding grudges.
Yes.
So if you're still mad, well after or precipitating incident, like something that happened all of a sudden, and it was intended for harm, okay, you may be holding on to those negative feelings for too long. Sometimes well after other people typically would have let them go. You may remember multiple past bad acts and relive those experiences every time you think about or interact with that person, either making your displeasure abundantly clear to them or keeping your true feelings to yourself. You might be intentionally holding a grudge, but sometimes you aren't even aware of it. But whatever your intentions are the cause of your bitterness, holding a grudge can end up hurting you as much as the person who
Mm-hmm.
inspired it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so learn more about how clinging to anger can impact you emotionally, physically, and socially, as well as how to begin to let go of your grudges and cope with anger in a healthier way. And the Bible tells us not to let the sun go down on our wrath. And it tells us also that we can be angry, but don't sin. Okay. So do unto others as you would them do unto you. Now, if you want to be forgiven, then you forgive that person, even if the person hadn't asked you to forgive them. But you have to forgive them on your side and go on. And you, like I said, if you have to keep your distance, you have to do it. Okay. So somebody said, what they asked Jesus, how long, how many times do I have to forgive these people? What did he say? 70 times seven? And that didn't even cap it. So as many times as they ask you to forgive them, you
Uh-huh.
forgive them. Now, by golly gee, now don't come up here doing the same thing over and over and over again. And this saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. If I'm going to, I'm not going to say we'll hold a grudge.
I
But
will. I'm gonna hold it.
if you want me to forgive you, don't come doing the same thing over and over again, because somebody, meaning that person, ain't telling the truth.
So,
Because you are
hello.
not sorry for what you did if you keep doing it over and over and over again. What if those people who are in the grave or somewhere else could tell you how many times they forgave somebody over and over again,
Oh,
and look
yep.
where they are. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so from an early childhood on, holding a grudge is one way people respond to negative feelings and events. This reaction is particularly common when you think someone has done something intentionally, callously, meant to do you harm, just meant it did it intentionally, or thoughtlessly to hurt you, especially if you don't seem to care or make an attempt to apologize if they don't. Make an attempt to apologize and make the situation right. And you know what? I can't understand. You know, some people do things like horseplay and stuff like that. I cannot stand that. I don't like
I can.
horseplay.
Oh, I can't
I
stand it.
don't like that. Now
Oh,
that's offensive to me. And some people do that and they don't know that they've offended you or that you like holding something against them because you're looking at them like, okay, now you
uh-huh.
did it once. Don't do it again because I'm aggravated, especially till you tell them, no, don't do that. And then they do it again. So if you have low self-esteem, poor coping skills, we're embarrassed by the hurt, or or have a short temper, you may even you be more likely to hold a grudge. By golly gee, that's the truth. So while we all may fall into holding an occasional grudge, right? I think everybody has probably held a grudge. Some people may be more prone to hanging on to resentments or anger than other people. Sometimes holding the grudges and blaming others may be a form of self-protection. Didn't I say that a while ago? Because you remember that.
Yep.
And so you put up a wall against those people. I don't want them to do this to me anymore. By golly gee, I don't. So in the same vein, because I don't want, any reflexes to, you know, so, in the same vein, some people may be more cognizant that they are stoking feelings of bitterness than others who may be unaware of the role they play in keeping their anger alive. Lasting bitterness can grow from a variety of issues, large and small, because if they hurt you one time, then they do something else that keeps growing and growing and growing. That's
Uh-huh.
right. So then you build a wall of protection. And sometimes people may mistake a grudge, for hurt feelings and you be protecting yourself. So this is a real sticky situation. For instance, holding a grudge may come about as a result of seemingly small slights, such as someone not picking you for a team, taking your preferred seating, not including you on a group text, not inviting you on an event, calling you by the wrong name, not noticing your new haircut, looking at you in a strange way, or even simply bumping into you. By golly, those are, yep, that's true.
Stepping on your toes. They stepping
It's
on your
honey
toes.
child. Who was that in that elevator in that movie? Said that man said, "Who stepped on my toe?" Somebody stepped on my toe and cleared that elevator. Oh, that was Elder Davis telling me that. They were downtown in one of those buildings downtown. And so this man got on the elevator. Elder Davis said it was full of people. It's somebody stepped on his toe. he, said, he said, "Who stepped on my toe?" When the elevator stopped, I don't care whatever floor was on, everybody got out. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! This is so
Whether they
fun.
wanted to, was up their floor or not, everybody got off.
Everybody got out. Okay. All right. I'm going to finish with this one. Of course, resentments and prolonged anger more often spring from larger missteps, such as someone forgetting your birthday, not helping you when you need them, making a thoughtless or rude comment. By golly, yes, true. Okay, or letting you down in another hurtful way. Grudges also naturally build from more egregious events like taking credit for your efforts at work,
Uh-huh.
lying, false accusations, forgetting or ignoring something important, or making a pass at your significant other or the object of your crush. And people do, ooh, I can think of so many things, but really, I said I'm going to quit.
I can think of so many things too, because the stuff just started flooding my head. Ooh.
It's 1:30. I'm turning it over to you, Reedy.
Hey, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yes, indeedy. And mine is finding the love of your life.
All right.
I'm still looking. Anyway, relationships, we can probably all agree, are tricky business at the best of times. Getting from swipe right on Tinder, swipe right on Tinder to making it past the first date, and then selling into official relationship territory. Well, it can all feel like a lot of running a gauntlet that you've been incredibly poorly prepared for. But if you do manage to make it successfully into coupledom, hello, slaps on your back and clinking glasses from us all here. The next question you'll need to ask yourself is are they the love the real are they really the one, the love of your life? Now, regardless of whether you're on board with the idea that there's just one single person out there among the 7.6 billion people on earth that you're destined to spend the rest of your life with, the fact remains that some people are just better suited for others.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a here's a here's a cute answer talking about that magic. You know that you or found your true love when he or she is all you think about and you cannot wait to be with that person. If you feel this way, you found the one, the love of your life.
Mm-hmm.
True devotion, when you are truly in love with someone and you know that you want to spend the rest of your life with them, no matter what. It's also true that once you presumably found this adorably compatible creature, knowing whether you meant to be together long term is something akin to lusty convenience. Is again, well, a bit tricky. Lusty convenience, that's what I found a whole lot of time.
What?
Lusty convenience.
Yep.
Lusty convenience just knock on my door every time it's in the neighborhood.
That like that say yup. Yup.
Do
Oh
you
yeah.
feel calm, at peace, and genuinely happy? That is a great indicator. When you found the one, the love of your life, the relationship just flows. Things are fairly easy, says the admiringly optimistic Jeannie Asmos, chief of advice on the online dating site eHarmony. That's what really, you know, like she knows everything about first loves. You understand each other's viewpoints and perceptions and either accept them or feel the same way. If a relationship is characterized by conflict, strife, or butting heads on a regular basis, that likely tells you compatibility is not there. A huge indicator that you found the one, the love of your life. It's just easy to be with that person. You feel at home, totally comfortable, and you're able to be yourself. Paying attention to how you feel when you're around someone important. Do you feel calm, at peace, and genuinely happy? That is a great indicator.
Mm-hmm.
Trusting your gut feeling, however, can feel like a leap of faith. So how was a checklist of science backed indicators instead? Here's a checklist of science backed indicators instead. Luckily, there's a cohort. I can't say it. A cohort of the top psychologists and relationship experts, you know what I'm saying, and
Mm-hmm.
relationship experts out there who've made either a mission to uncover complexities and subtleties of love effects on the brain from the changes in your vocabulary to telltale Instagram behavior. The change in the tone is what gets me. They be so loving, and your voice go up an octave, and is this okay? Here's that first take on whether you're dealing with a fling or the real thing. Most of mine been fling. Ain't that real thing?
It ain't the
I'm
real thing,
still
huh?
looking. Your brain changes. A surefire indicator of a relationship being the real deal is that you don't experience that out of sight, out of mind phenomenon when your partner isn't around.
Mhm,
Instead, you'll tend to think about them a lot, almost all the time, in fact. Love and genuine attachment actually alter the biochemical reactions taking place in your brain.
mhm,
In a 2005 study carried out by researchers in New York's Stony Brook University suggests that this is because a real love and genuine attachment actually alter the biochemical reactions taking place in your brain. When you think about the one, the love of your life,
Okie
you will
dokie.
get a surge of happiness, boosting neurotransmitters, dopamine, plus a lighting up of the brain reward center. All of that makes us feel warm and fuzzy. Warm and fuzzy on the inside. You ever felt? Have you ever had a love of your life? Well, yeah, I know you have. I know you have. I have had not yet. Anyway,
The not yet, huh?
not yet. I'm still waiting on it. Hey, if you out there, Mister Right On, come on, call me.
Mr. Right on with the
Mister
right
Right
on.
On, call me. All that makes us feel warm fuzzy on the side and on the inside, but which is why we're more likely to keep indulging in these happy thoughts regularly, especially in the earlier stages of a strong relationship when the effects are their most potent. As Asimov quite rightly points, the one, the love of your life, is not going to try to Change you. They'll accept you for who you are and become your biggest supporter in life. Those who feel deeply connected to their partner are more likely to use plural pronouns such as we and us. I tried that one time and it got to me and and I.
It came on back around, huh?
It turned on me. We and us, and then the next week it was girl, me, and I.
Oh boy, I want to say
Oh,
hi.
broadly speaking, that's true. However, one way in which they will inevitably, albeit unintentionally, change you is by influencing your daily pronoun use, which is that we and us. Okay. In 2002, a study, psychologists at the University of Texas in Austin, woo, go Aggies, found that these who feel deeply connected to their partner are more likely to use those pronouns, such as we and us, rather than mine, I and me. The findings have since been confirmed by every person who's ever had to attend a couple's dinner as a singleton. And we feel for you. I sure feel for you. That's why I will not go if it's a couple dinner. I ain't going. I'm not going. I'll take my favorite pair of shoes. That's my couple. I'm going by myself. You're willing to fight. Old Willie Shakes was right on the money when he declared the course of true love to be an often rocky road. But psychologist Louis Rubin de Bourdon observes a willingness to fight for the success of your relationship is what really sets the one, the love of your life, apart. Even more so than how compatible two people might be on paper. That eharmony.com. And then they come in there. Lord, I've never tried eharmony.com, But I've read some things about those dating sites, and they don't really match those people. They really don't, because they end up with a lemon that come for their money. That's what they end up with. And then after they got their money, they gone on to another love site.
Wow. Somebody called that one time. One of, somebody said that man is a glorified pimp. The
That's what
one
I'm
that owns
talking
that
about.
site. And
That's
I
what I'm talking
believe that.
about.
Those
A pimp.
people are
That's right.
glorified pimps.
That's right. Yeah. If you want to date somebody, call us. If I want to date somebody like you, give me, I'm gonna stand on 38. That's the corner up on the street. Anyway, a successful relationships hangs on by sheer willpower and wants to stay in a relationship. Everyone who is unhappy in their relationship naturally brings it to the facade, or facade, or however which way you want to say it, facade, facade. You know what I'm talking about. Uh, of compatibility, he writes, they fail to realize and comprehend that a successful relationship does not hinge its prosperity on how alike you are. Instead, it hangs on by sheer willpower and want to stay in a relationship. Now, if you really want to stay in a relationship, you'll do what you can to stay in that relationship. Whether it's good or bad, that's the sad thing about it. Some people try to hold on to something that they don't need to hold on to. They,
Right.
they do. They try to hold on to something they don't need to
That's
hold on
right.
to.
That's
You need
right.
to keep in mind that finding the one, the love of your life, doesn't mean finding a clone of you who shares exactly the same passions or meet the exact expectations. If you meet the one, you'll both be cool with making certain sacrifices for each other, even if historically you've always been more looking out for yourself as number one. Psychologists call these costly commitment signals. When we carry out acts or behave in ways that we are likely to cost us each other in terms of our relationship and our time and our money, emotions, simply because we want to help our significant other. In a 2015 study carried out by psychologists at Japan's Kobe got a university, found that relationships where this kind of behavior was either absent or infrequent or less likely to go the distance. Kobe got a university in Japan. Hey,
Wow. Wow.
I don't know that that's just the name of it. I'm just saying that. I'm just
Right.
saying.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Uh-huh.
Um,
That's all right.
you don't overshare. These folks who post love up couple selfies on the regular, they're likely trying their best to compensate for a bond that it in reality just isn't there. You ever seen them on there? This is us eating dinner. This is us at the movies. They always got putting something on Facebook or Instagram or that other gram. I don't know all the grams because I just belong to Facebook and Instagram. I don't know them other grams. Uh, but they always putting up something oversharing. If your partner isn't plastering your relationship all over social media feeds, it's actually a strong indicator that all is well in Couplesville. Now, if they are oversharing, it could be a sign of insecurity. Unfortunately, social media is now an essential part of daily lives, to the point that every moment needs to be documented or recorded. Happy couples who take their relationship seriously, however, tend not to share much information about their
Right.
relationship online. That is
Right.
right. That is true.
Right.
You tell too much of your business, somebody else want to come in your house and see what's going on. I don't, God,
Hmm.
no, no. You've polled your friends and family. According to psychologists, what those closest to you think about your partner can have a huge influence on how relationships turned out, and that is the truth.
Hmm.
That is the
Hmm.
truth. Until you find out your girlfriend with the guy you had her you asked her about. When you found the one, you want everyone in your life to meet them. A 2014 study also found that that since around since those around us can have such an impact on our love life, it's common to want the martial support for your budding romance. That is true. That is true.
Mhm.
I always have meet my family. If they can stand my family, they can stand anything.
Right.
Because my family gonna question them. Baby, who is your daddy? What you say your mama did? So if you're not interested in your partner to if you're not introduced your partner to your friends and family, but also found yourself soliciting feedback from all parties concerned while simultaneously highlighting all your partner's virtues, it's highly likely you found the one, the love of your life, especially if everyone is jailed on the night. They are your number one cheerleader. According to famed psychologist researcher Dr. John Gottman, supporting each other's life dreams, aka long-term goals and ambitions, is a key component of a healthy and long-lasting relationship.
Mhm.
Couples who focus on building something together, whether it be a business or working towards a shared goal, tend to stay together the longest. The one, the love of your life, should look up to you, admire you, and respect you. In other words, they'll become your biggest champion and an ever loving, reliable source of support and encouragement. That is so true.
Yep.
That is so true. Girl, you can do it. Keep on doing. Now you said
Yes.
you want to do that. They do. Yes, they do.
Mhm.
Yes, they do. The happiest relationships are built on mutual respect. So even if you both have
Excuse
different
me.
interests, 10-4, even if you both have different interests you want to pursue,
Oh my God.
even if you both have different interests you want to pursue, the one, that one, the love of your life, will be there to encourage and support you. Bedroom gymnastics. Hello. Hey.
Bedroom gymnastics.
Dismount.
I don't know what it is. I hope I'm not thinking wrong. And then if I'm thinking wrong, I might be thinking bad. So I don't know.
Then you're thinking right.
Well, it's not bad if it's right. You know what I'm saying? So we've been taught, we were taught when we were little, that's
Oh,
bad.
yeah, y'all know, right?
Bad.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, doing
Okay.
something bad.
Bedroom gymnastics isn't your only hobby. Bedroom gymnastics. Hello.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes, it is. Naturally, sex plays a huge part in a healthy relationship, and being physically attracted to your partner as well as enjoying their company is a virtual checkpoint.
Hmm.
If all your plans somehow incorporate time alone where you might be able to have sex, then the alarm bells should start to ringing. And that is true. That's the truth. But
Okay,
if
saying,
sex is the only, huh?
okay, explain that what you just said. Would you just read that again, please?
Okay, okay. If all your plans somehow incorporate time alone where you might be able to have sex, then the alarm bell should start ringing. If that's all they
Okay,
want to do, if you have, if you got time and that's all they want to do is have sex, your alarm bell should start ringing. But
okay.
if sex is the only thing you do together, when you've managed to carve out some downtime, what happened? So, dang it, somebody's at the door.
Okay.
Uh, uh
Just hit your camp. Well, just go on to the door. We'll wait on you.
oh,
We'll wait on you. We want to hear this. I see Pickle's house back there. Everybody, she'll be right back. She's got this hot topic. Hot topic. What is it? What is it here? How to find the love of your life? That's a hot one. Hot. I think I said hello, Ashlyn, and hello, Glenda. I know I wrote it, but did I say it publicly. Hi, Jennifer. What did I say, Jennifer? What did I say?
Okay.
Jennifer said, wow, that really did hurt on Shirley. What did I say? Oh, I know what she's talking about. Oh, favorite niece.
What you call Ashley your favorite niece? Hi, Ashley. Hi, Jenny.
she
Okay,
said
now,
she said
huh?
she really needed that. Whatever.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I read that, Ashley. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Keep on talking to
Oh no, go ahead.
him.
Jennifer, hey favorite niece. I love you, Schnookums.
She trying to make up for it, Jenny. Don't make it. Don't do it.
Oh yes, so I
Okay.
love my nieces and
I know
nephews.
it. Thank God we have such a loving family. Thank you,
Yes,
Lord. Because I know some
yes.
people that can't even talk to their sisters. Uh,
Uh-uh.
uh,
And they
but they
know,
do.
they all know how I am. Everybody's my favorite.
Everybody your favorite. Yep. And don't get excited. She told me the same thing. I'm not Shirley's favorite. Don't get excited. She told me the same thing.
Oh boy, that is so funny.
Okay,
Oh,
okay. Let's see where I at. Okay. Don't but if sex is the only thing you do together when you manage to carve out some downtime, we are very sorry to the point that it might be a good sign, might not be a good sign. Sex is great and you should be having a lot of it, but it's important to build a stronger emotional bond between beyond that. If all your plans somehow to incorporate into the bedroom, then the alarm bell should ring. And that's telling you that he is not the one or she is not the one. You need to be able to have fun around each other without the need for sex. You're in sync. When you're in sync with your partner, you are fully present with that person, mind and body. In a romantic relationship, it's important to feel connected to someone in this way. When the connection is there, you feel seen, heard, valued, respected, and cherished. Ladies, my daughters, my niece, y'all listen to me. Listen to me. If you don't get this, you don't feel seen, heard, valued, respected, and cherished, keep stepping and keep looking. Scientists have found that some couples are so in tune that their brains begin to work in sync. See, that's what I'm talking. I ain't never found nobody as crazy as I am. I mean, brain and work in sync with my their brain work like mine. I don't think they exist. That means that you
oh,
reach a state in which their nervous systems are ticking over in harmony, helping them to read each other's thoughts and emotions. And according to researchers, just sitting next to the love of your life, in 15 minutes is enough to be in sync. If you're in love with that person, you in sync with 15 minutes is all you need. Hello. I
hmm
just gave you some good news and some bad news. Now, some of y'all is some bad news. Some of y'all might be some good news. But for me, I'm gonna
So
have
50,
me about. I'm gonna need about 15 to 15 minutes.
now
I'm gonna
what's the
try that A and B.
excuse me, my mind was some what's the 15 minutes about?
15 minutes, and you can tell if you're in sync.
Oh,
15 minutes. If you're in love your life, if you sit by each other 15 minutes, you should be able to be in sync. If that is really
okay.
the love of your life.
Okay.
But you hear what I said? I'm gonna need a sink A and a sink B. And a kitchen sink.
Hey.
Just to try to see what my options lie. All righty, wait, I'm done, Shirley.
Oh, really, that's
Oh
wonderful, wonderful. And
Lord.
so if anybody didn't get every part of the webcast, you can always go back and look at it. Okay, it's on YouTube also. It's on Twitch, and it is on Facebook. And I'm going to download it and do the audio version of it and put it on anchor.com and all
That's
that.
too many places. I don't know all those places.
Oh,
I
well,
don't
I'll
know
send it
none
to
of
you.
those places.
And so if they don't want, to like they're driving down the road or something, or they're laying in the bed, they can just listen to it instead of trying to watch us.
Trying to watch it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Anchor.com. So that's why I've been because, and I looked on Anchor today, Reedy, and I have had 800 and something listens
Oh, wait.
that have listened on there. 800 and I think it's 864.
Ooh, that's
I said,
good.
wow, that's
All
good.
right.
Yeah,
That's
about
wonderful.
864.
Yes. Yes, it
Okay,
is.
so read it. Any announcements? Anything you want to say?
No, I do not.
Okay, we just want to say we love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you
You
for
know what I
watching us.
do? I do.
Okay,
I
okay.
want to thank everyone for the calls because I've had so many calls, people stopping by and all that. I thank you. I thank you, thank you, thank you to know that my sister touched so many people. And some people I wouldn't even thought, but they did. But thank
Hmm.
you all. Thank you
Hmm.
all.
Yes, and come and join us at Mount Olive Baptist Church in the multipurpose building. And like we said in the beginning, if you want to contribute, hold your food and your cards and everything. Not you can call us and and do the on the Facebook and all those social medias. That's not what we're saying. We're saying like people want to know where do we bring food and where do we send this and so we will be receiving that. They will be receiving that. The children and grandchildren on the 4th of September, beginning at 11 a.m. at the Mount Olive Baptist Church in Denison, Texas, in the multi-purpose
Mhm.
building. And the setting it's like a comfortable setting. It's not a dressy
That's
setting,
right.
okay? Okay.
Right.
Be comfortable, all right? So when you come and we will be there to receive you.
Yeah.
All right, starting at 11 a.m. on September the 4th, 2021
Yeah,
at
because
Mount Olive.
they want to give all her college friends, everybody time
Hmm.
to get here and make preparations. So they did what they did.
Yep.
Yep.
So, and we're following their
Thank you.
instructions and honoring
Huh?
the children's desires and the grandchildren's desires. And thank you again. And so it's 1:58. Reedy, I love you.
Love
And
you. Thank you,
I'm
everybody.
sleepy. I guess I go ahead and finish this pizza.
Don't do the pizza.
I love you, everybody.
Love you. Okay. Bye bye.
Okay, love you, Jennifer, Ashlyn,
I
Glenda,
love you, Jennifer
those
and Ashley.
everybody who's
Thanks,
watching us.
everybody.
Okay, talk with you later. I'm not gonna
Okay.
play
Bye
I'm
bye.
not gonna play the music.
Okay. All right.
Okay.